As you know, this is part of NIRSA Ideas in Motion virtual roundtables. So you have now joined the HBCU Roundtable. I am one of your facilitators, Iisha Voltz. I'm the director of the Department of Campus Recreation at Texas Southern University. We have Tony Daniels. I'm not sure if he made it on yet, but he will also serve as a co-facilitator for this roundtable, and also several of our NIRSA HBCU committee members, who I will share with you guys. So this is currently our 2019 and 20 NIRSA HBCU committee members, with myself and Nicole as co-chairs from North Carolina Central University. And also we have our liaison from the board of directors, Ms. Jocelyn Hill, Ashford Evans, Tony Daniels, Siobhan Shorter, Jordan Williams, and our NIRSA headquarters member, Megan. I'm sorry, FSU, Ashford, thank you for the correction. We're so used to you being at the HBCU. Okay.
It's all good.
Before we get started, a few of our roundtable guidelines. Pretty much if you've already experienced any of the other NIRSA in Motion roundtables, we kind of fall piggybacking on the same guidelines. This session will be recorded and posted on the NIRSA website. Also, just please make sure you are muted and use the chat box to ask questions and comments. And in the event there's something interesting that you're doing or that you want to add, we might call upon you to speak or elaborate on that topic. Also, if you know about the raise your hand feature, if you click on your tool at the bottom or at the top of your Zoom, you will see participants. You'll click on that. And at the bottom of that, it gives you an option to raise your hand. That will help us better see what you want to add on to the topic that we're discussing. And also, real quick, just continue to utilize the NIRSA Connect for further conversations and also research sharing. There's a lot of valuable information on there, especially during this time, and just helping us all stay afloat on what everybody's doing and coping through these times. Okay, also just please be respectful of all attendance concerns. This is an informal conversation with all discussions, focusing around our role as higher educational professionals in the Department of Campus Recreation. Also, let's just view this roundtable as a no judgment space. All ideas are welcome. Okay. And just to start off, this is a preview of pretty much the overview of some of the topics for today that we can kind of piggyback on, chime in on, add on, and just talk it through. So with that being said, how's everybody doing? How are you coping during this time? If you want to speak on it or type it in the chat box, just to get a little overview of everybody's mind during this time.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
My name is Vanessa Hood. I'm the Interim Director of University Recreation at Winston-Salem State University. And how are we coping? It is a very difficult and serious transition, but after about, I think it takes approximately 15 or 20 days for us to develop a habit. I think the habit is starting to set in. I'm more or less primarily concerned about our students transitioning and their sincere and honest feeling about being safe and being well. Sometimes the younger we are, the more vulnerable we think we're not susceptible to these kinds of viruses and kinds of health hazards. So my concern is our students.
I agree. Anybody else would like to share how you coping? I see a lot in the chat. Doing well, staying active, making it work, making it through, doing great. It's good to hear. Okay. Yeah, I agree, Kathleen. Although this is difficult, I'm enjoying the transition and the learning experience. I definitely agree. I mean, some things, even though it's kind of like we're forced to live in this environment now, but it's also allowing us to be more creative and think outside the box to continue to do what we love to do.
Iisha, this is Tony from Prairie View.
Welcome, Tony.
Sorry, I had a couple snags with technology, but I'm on. Hey, I agree with the first comment. You know, first concern is with our students and our colleagues. But just to answer your question, it's been a real tough adjustment at home.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is working professionally and she's online, and we've got one middle schooler, one elementary, and one college student. So everybody's jockeying for internet time and computers. So that's been an adjustment that I think we just about got a plan to power through. So just wanted to make sure that everyone was doing well at home in addition to caring for others.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Can anybody else chime on that experience of balancing the home life and coping with that, especially those that have children at home as well? How are they coping and how are you making it work?
Hi, this is Chastity. I'm at Georgia State Perimeter Campus, Newton Campus. Yes, it's quite, I piggyback on Anthony, it's quite an adjustment. I'm working remotely. The husband is home working remotely. We have a 7-year-old first grader and a 13-year-old seventh grader who we're homeschooling. And I'm a student as well. And my professor pretty much tripled the workload. I think she must think we are not in the middle of a pandemic, but the workload has tripled. So I'm just trying to, I have this mantra, I always say #push through. So I'm just trying to push through the best way I can. For my Sunday, I'm a runner, I'm a marathoner. So I run, Saturdays are reserved for long distance running. Saturday, I got 13 miles in, and midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday morning, I may get up and do a short run, probably 3, 4, 5 miles. So working out is an outlet for me, because if I didn't work out and sweat and get those endorphins going, I would be in a padded cell right about now. So just trying to balance. And yet everybody's here, we're fighting for computer time and screen time, and is yeah. So but we're going to be okay. I always say there's victory on the other side, so we're just gonna, this too shall pass. So hope that helps somebody.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else want to chime in?
I would agree. This is Nicole Piscatelli from North Carolina Central. Kind of like what everybody's saying with little kids at home. It's the new norm, and adjusting to the new norm between the whole family being cooped up in one area, trying to get outside, trying to balance everything, trying to produce what our work needs to make us vital too and relevant. And then homeschooling, I have 8-year-old twins who are extremely active. Fighting for computers, fighting for time, fighting just, it seems. So I can relate to the padded cell, because I think I've changed my name from mom about 10 times this week alone. I am no longer mom. I'm not. So don't address me as mom. And I just had my daughter yelling mommy right now. So that's great. But adjusting to the new norm, and, you know, knowing that even though that this is changing, when we get back to the norm, this will become the new norm, the virtual programming and the digital stuff. And so kind of embracing that while we're at home, because we know what we're putting out there now, we're going to have to sustain along with our in-person program. So really trying to, for me, not being tech savvy, wrap my head around it, and grateful to my team, who I think some are on here, because they've really picked up the slack in that aspect. So, but we're surviving.
Definitely. Thank you, Nicole.
Yes.
Okay, so moving right along to the first topic outside of the well-being piece is the staying engagement piece with how are you staying engaged and supporting your first and foremost, your professional staff? With that, are you continuing working? Are you still requiring services from them? You know, what does that look like with your professional staff? If you are managing of professional staff, what does that look like?
Currently, we here at Winston-Salem State University, the institution has, of course, declared us as being open.
Okay.
So what we're doing is we're working remotely.
Mhm.
The larger staff are working remotely, and I've been coming to the office pretty much every day, and then some of the staff members periodically come in as they find they need material that they need to, of course, perform their duties.
Mhm.
So it's almost, for lack of a better term, business as usual, except you're not in your office.
Mhm.
And we're doing sessions like this one to do what we consider to be staff development opportunity.
Mhm.
And I think everyone is adjusting pretty good. And that's kind of what we're doing here at WSSU.
I would piggyback on that. Same here with Texas Southern University. We're kind of, the university is open and we kind of shifted our gears to as well working remotely. And some of the things that we've incorporated within our engagement as far as the professional staff is, we transitioned into a software that we utilize called Basecamp. So within Basecamp, we shifted our rec staff in there, our everything's in there. So we have communication outlets, oh, I'm sorry, I was reading. But anyway, so we put our departments within that base camp, and we're broken down into headquarters, from our fitness department, our marketing department, memberships, and then we have our professional management department. And that's how we stay in the loop with each other and still pass on assignments and roles and responsibilities. And we set those hours. We're working from 9 to 4. So wherever you are, if you get an email, if you get a call, you have to make yourself available during those times.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. I'm at University of the Bahamas, and this week would actually make a month that we've been closed. And so everyone's been working from home this entire time. So what we're also a small program, so it's just me and 2 professional staff, and we have about 2 work study students and like part-time sort of referees, about 8 of those. So we've just been doing check-ins on like WhatsApp, and we've had some Zoom meetings, but we've come up with different programs, and so everyone's working throughout the day. But we've gone with more of a flexible approach in our hours, because some of the programs that we're doing virtually require us to work, like send out like flyers and stuff through social media at like 7 o'clock at night, because our students are still doing classes as well. So where like there was one weekend we had our fitness people doing we're creating videos to post online for the week coming up, and so they were doing that on the weekend when typically we wouldn't work on the weekend. But so we've just been kind of like shifting things around. So if you end up working on the weekend, then you know you're not going to be working during the weekend. I mean, the workload is obviously decreased because we're not on campus. But yeah, I think it is tough trying to keep them engaged and staff engaged and motivated in doing the social media aspects and staying up to keeping everything current on there.
Thank you. Anyone else want to chime in?
Yeah, Tony from Prairie View A&M University again. What we're doing is the university, through a joint partnership with our information technology on campus, has been issuing out laptops. And with the laptops, professional staff, there was a hierarchy in what I'm sharing. Of course, it went to the faculty first. Then we made sure that all students that were in need of a computer had the opportunity to request and check out, meaning borrow. We'll have to return one day once this is over. But basically, there's a laptop that persons can check out and then have different components of what they may need to complete work remotely from home. If that's my files, my desktop, access to their shared drive. We also have the opportunity to download Softphone, which is an application on our campus, which allows your desk phone to read on that computer during the hours of 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time for us on your computer. And what that does, it saves us from having to purchase or pay the monthly service for a cell phone if persons don't have cell phones. So the university agreed to make purchase of the technologies, in this case, the computers, help download all programs that professional staff would need to conduct their work. And that cell phone application has really helped us. So we don't have to pay, in our case, it would be $40 for each phone service plan. And we've been using different things to stay in touch. Again, the university has an account with Zoom. It allows you to stay on longer than the 40 minutes. Allows you to have over 100 participants. We have WebEx. We're using Teams as a student affairs division. So really trying to make sure people have what they need to do their jobs, and then also have the abilities to stay in contact with each other as professional staff.
Okay, anyone else? All right. Continuing with this department, now shifting, what are you doing to stay engaged and support your student staff? How many of you guys are still employing or able to employ your student staff, and what does this new normal look like with that? I would say for us, luckily we are able to continue to employ our student employees, and like I said, we're utilizing our Basecamp platform to be able to do that. And I see that my membership and marketing coordinator, Ms. Jessica Allen, she chimed in. Jessica, I'm gonna put you on the spot. Can you kind of talk about how we're keeping our student staff engaged?
Yes. Hello, everyone. And I just want to apologize for that comment. That was supposed to be for a private chat. Sorry about that. But yes, we currently have our students signing in on a software called Basecamp. And it's kind of like social media. Every department has their own queue that they work out of. And managers are able to upload whatever assignment or task they would like for their departments to do. And they can assign them to their staff. They'll be able to check it off, add notes to that. And it's basically, we just tell them, it's like working inside the rec center. So every department is still able and functioning, as they would if they were inside the building. With our marketing department, we are just assigning students to keep the student body aware of the fitness classes that we're holding online, making sure that we have flyers ready, any notifications that have to go up at last minute, that we're able to do so. Our other departments are also working with our marketing department with coming up with different challenges for the students, coming up with like different content for the students to engage in on, which is trivia questions, our Wellness Wednesdays that we put up every single Wednesday just to keep our students active and engaged, because we are out for a long period of time. So Basecamp has been heaven sent to us. You will have to pay for the services, but we did get, I think, a month free that we used it. And with navigating Basecamp, it's really easy. You'll get a tutorial that you can walk through, a video tutorial on how to set up your staff. It's an easy setup through any email they would like to use, their personal email or their school email. Either or works fine. We did create a Basecamp account simply for our rec center, and then we had our managers go in, and we added our managers in through our admin page. But again, it's easy to get everyone onboarded onto, and also it keeps up with their attendance, and we basically just track their activity into hours for our facility.
Thank you. And I see that Julia wrote that Anchorage, Alaska, this will be the last pay period that the students will get paid with amend COVID leave. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Iisha, I can't see the screen. I'm not sure if my colleagues, any of my colleagues from Prairie View are on the line, but we're using social media to contact our students. And I don't want to jump ahead into the next question, but social media for us is just a good way to keep up with them. And what we're doing is offering opportunities for students who would like to work to get paid to complete more online training. We're in the Texas A&M University system, and they've got some annual trainings, for example, bloodborne pathogens, just working with customer service type topics. So any of those trainings that the students complete, we're paying them for those. If you don't complete those, your entire institution can be placed on a non-compliance list. So it's really important for us. So we're using this opportunity for students to take all those mandated trainings. And what it does is pretty much on an annual basis. So we just thought this would be a great time for every single student employee that we have to complete their training, so we don't have to worry about that. God willing, we're back on campus collectively in the fall, because we have had some challenge with students returning in the fall, not completing those trainings at our busiest time of the year. So this is an opportunity for us to get ahead on those trainings. And then we've also created what we call a RecU. It's a RecU program really based off of student development topics that one of us as a professional staff would lead, and really predicated based off some topics real similar to the NIRSA core competencies. For example, the fiscal or budget experience or risk management experiences, personal, professional development, resume writing. So anything that we can offer our students that would support them in their personal, professional development, and all those topics that will help them with their normal tasks once we return, we can quote unquote justify having them work and having them get paid. And right now we're probably averaging probably 12 hours for the week, where their ceiling could be 20.
Yeah. Jeremy, I have a question in the chat room. Did any of you have to terminate your student staff due to the pandemic? And then he also chimed in with Julia, just are you guys bi-weekly or monthly pay period? And I think for us, the average is roughly 10 hours maybe or so, due to those, we're allowing them to do seminars and different projects like that. A lot of video submittal projects. It is allowing us to do some things that we're gonna put on the back burner because of other obligations, but because we don't have those obligations, we kind of can chime in on focusing on building on like our staff orientations, how that look, our policies and procedures, brushing up on that, how does that look? What can we kind of detail work part of it? Right.
For us, our university and the state system kind of wanted to support our students, and so we paid them through April 30th, regardless of whatever their schedule was scheduled. It was already in the budget, so we'll take obviously a hit on it, but That's kind of how our university decided to handle it. All work aid students would be paid through April 30th based on what their contract was slated for. And so what we've asked staff is to engage with them as often as you can, do a WebEx meeting, I believe, and some of the staff is on here and they can correct me, had them complete some of the NIRSA webinars, some of the flag football and basketball seminars for our basketball officials. We've had some WebEx meetings with them just to check in and see, and then really kind of helping us with our social media, sweat challenges, things like that. Hey, if you guys are going to be paid, we expect you to be outside and tag yourself in one of the sweat challenges. And then also, and then reviewing handbooks now and policies and procedures and really getting our students' input on that while they're at home. Here, review this handbook, right? Give us your feedback. So that's kind of how we're engaging them. But the university had decided that we were going to pay them through April 30th.
Anyone else want to chime in, or we can?
Yeah, I'd like to add at Prairie View, what we're doing is we're trying to really make sure that our work study students, I think we just referred to them as aid students, that our work study students are having an opportunity to work and earn monies for that. Because in our campus, I'm sure like you guys, it really has an impact on them receiving work study the preceding year if they don't utilize their award. So those students with work study are allowed to work up to whatever their balance is. Some students get $2,500 a semester, some students get $500 a semester. So we set a schedule based off that. So again, everything is by choice. We offer to the students. For example, in our aquatics department, I know that Ms. Yolanda Thomas, our aquatics coordinator, does in-services with the lifeguards, American Red Cross, but any student can participate in that program because it's going over the CPR portion that's pretty general in nature. Again, anything that we offer similar to what Cindy just stated about the officials training, any of our students can participate in that webinar or that discussion or complete that activity to get paid. And what we're basically doing is trying to come up with a justification in the event we need that support on what they did. And typically it's some form of a student sign-in or some return of an assignment associated to a webinar or a Zoom meeting. So we just want to make sure the students are being paid and compensated, at least have that option, and then we have the justification in the event that we need that.
And shifting the gears with the topic, now we're going, I know we've heard from several as far as what programs are you actually offering remotely? Well, one, are you offering remote programming or required to? And what are those programs that you're offering? And also, what are these platforms are you utilizing and how effective are they? So there are different aspects that we can go on with the programming side, but I would like to start hearing from you guys as far as what programs you are offering, and we'll go from there.
So I'm Kathleen Langley at Lincoln University of Missouri. What we're doing on social media is every week what we're trying to do is an exercise of the week. So I'll make a video like in my home studio, and I won't do it actually at the rec facility because I want them to feel like you can do this at home. It just be something like jumping jacks, how to do a proper sit-up, what's the benefits of it, how many reps to do in order to feel it for whatever goal you have. And then that alternative week, we'll do a food of the week. So whether it's an apple or some tuna or just anything regarding nutrition, just to show them and to help them realize that you still can be active, you still can eat right, and to do it in a like student budget friendly way. I know the issue we always have with our department is it costs too much to eat healthy. I don't have time to work out. So I literally have been just being silly with the workouts. I even did like a couch workout. Never done that before in my life, but I'm just trying to give them different options and to show them that you can definitely stay active. And the more active you are, the healthier that you eat, the better your immune system is, the better you are doing these online classes, because these online classes are dragging our students. So my goal is to each week hit them with something different and just inspiring to show them that, hey, we're on your side. we're going through the same thing as well. And this is just different options and different ways that you guys can be active.
Great. Ashford, can you chime in on the link that you just posted?
Yeah, that's we call it Active Anywhere. And so what we do, our fitness program really takes the lead with this, and we have we have an abbreviated group fitness schedule that's on that website at that link it goes out via Zoom. So it has the Zoom IDs and the times of day that our instructors will be doing those classes. So it presents an opportunity for us to still be able to pay our students and have some programming for our student participants. It's not all fitness. We have some stuff, our outdoor coordinators, they basically go on a walk around Tallahassee and have things that people can do in the outdoors. They call it Sean and Sean in the Great Outdoors. We have our athletic trainer goes through like injury prevention for people doing the at-home workouts, and just a bunch of different opportunities for people to engage with us. So I dropped a link to the Active Anywhere website that has all the information for all the stuff that we're doing right now. And if anybody wants to chat about it or has any questions about it, just let me know.
Great. One question, Jessica has pointed out, has anyone experienced any issues with Zoom for virtual fitness classes? That's one thing that we've experienced, where we had to transition our classes to do Instagram Live because we was getting a lot of those hacking deals.
Yeah, I can chime in on that too. In the beginning, we allowed anyone with the code, with the Zoom ID to attend our classes. A couple of Zoom bombings. So now if they're not an FSU student, they won't be able to authenticate in, and we put everybody in a waiting room. So before you join the Zoom call, if you don't sign in through your FSU account, you'll sit in a waiting room and you won't be able to get into the class until the instructor lets you in. So we have a student employee that's an instructor that teaches the class, and we have a student employee that's a monitor that monitors the class to make sure that there's no Zoom bombings that happen if somebody does slip through the cracks.
We're doing what's called, here at Winston-Salem State University, we're doing what's called the UREC Virtual Operations Schedule. On Monday and Wednesday, we do what's called, very similar to what I heard before, an activity of the day. The fitness coordinator will publish on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram the activity of the day with pictorial descriptions of how to do that particular fitness activity. Intramurals is doing the same. On Thursday, the fitness instructor does Zoom yoga. No problems with that so far. On Friday, we have what's called Fun Fact Friday to kind of make it fun. A company called Well Beats has permitted us access for 30 days to more than 500 fitness classes. They provided the access code. So we have provided that to our students as well to try to kind of keep things fun. And I'm doing a lot of, if everybody probably saw yesterday, Super Bowl 42, the NFL. And then there was a 2019 Masters Golf Tournament. And then there was a National Hockey League game. And what I've asked our intramural sports coordinator to do is to post that on social media. Find out if students want to make comments about it. Guys love to talk about football, ladies too, but these are some things I'm using all sorts of mediums to try to provide fitness and programming services to our students.
Thanks. Is it Jasmine Harper? I see that you posted in the comments that you do online card games. Would Would you like to chime in on that? I'm interested or curious in knowing how that works.
Hi, yeah. So we're actually just going to be doing it for the first time this week, but it's on the website. You can set up they have multiple card games that you can choose from. So like there's Go Fish, there's Cards Against Humanity, as well as you can just set up a traditional card room and play any game in there that you want to play, like any kind of card games. And so there's a link where you click create your virtual room, and it gives you a link that you can send to everybody. And once they enter the link, then it puts them into the game. And so it's really simple. And what we were thinking about doing was either doing a virtual aspect of it too, where a like video aspect of it, where we'll either do it through Zoom or Google Hangout, Google Duo, whichever one works better for people. And then because they've been doing most of their classes through Zoom, so we kind of want to take it off of Zoom for them, so it doesn't feel like more work, because they've really been struggling with their online classes. There's been tons of complaints from our students, so trying to keep a divide there for them.
Yeah. Great, thanks.
I also forgot to add here at WSSU, we've added the quarantine quiz show. I think that's from the NIRSA site, and we're also engaging in esports.
Okay. Great. Anybody else want to chime in? Got a mindful coffee session using Zoom. Nice.
Iisha, one of the things we're doing at Prairie View, and I believe that Ms. Coleman, our fitness coordinator, is participating right now. And just this week, she was able to finally get her laptop computer, and we'll be able to allow her to set up some sessions for some personal nutritional consultation. So we were excited about having that. We just, she was just unfortunately able to get her laptop computer this week. So we're excited about posting those. And then she's also going to be doing some sessions on some at-home type things like stretching and flexibility. And we've got a student who's been working with us over a year or so, just really stockpiling articles on flexibility, on hydration, the importance of sleep. So we're going to be disseminating that information. One of our associate vice presidents in housing, and housing falls under student affairs at Prairie View, has created a Prairie View A&M University student affairs site. So each of our collective departments, so our students as employees and participants, if they come, then they'll be redirected to the student affairs site to make sure that they understand all the services available on campus. We have a food pantry that has really ramped up its provision, because on our campus, like most, it's carried. So pretty much at breakfast and lunch, you have an opportunity to go over and pick up some food there. But at the dinner time, a lot of the students who reside on campus in American College campus properties that's not owned by the university, but in a relationship, they have to honor those students who paid rent and who signed those contracts. So as a result, student affairs still has a presence at Prairie View. So we just wanted to make sure that our students had, like it was similar to discuss, some information on wellness and nutrition, some of those other stagnant things that you can do at home, but also access to other student affairs programs and services that are currently available to them.
Thank you. What about services? Is anybody continuing to offer services such as your personal training services, those that clients pay for? Are you continuing to go virtual? What does that look like? Did you have to do refunds because of this pandemic? What does that look like with the services pieces of your programming?
Here at Winston-Salem State, we are still offering personal training services. The fitness coordinator receives an email if a student or person is interested in personal training services, and we do it virtually. We provide instructions. We just do it virtually by Zoom.
Yeah.
Kathleen Langley, Lincoln University of Missouri. With me being the personal trainer, what I give people the option. So I gave them the option if they wanted to do it virtually or if they wanted a refund, or it was really up to them. So all of them have agreed to do it virtually. So we literally set up times just as if we were going to the gym. I'll tell them beforehand, grab your canned goods, grab your notebook. This is what we're finna work out with. Grab a chair, things of that nature. And it's kind of actually very interesting because a lot of them have said that they still are seeing the same benefits as they would in the gym as well. And for those who are just like, I just want to wait until this is all over, I still just send them workouts that they can do at home. That way they're still being active. But I really had the time of my life doing this. I really made them grab, like I said, canned goods, a book, grab a box, a chair. And even when it's nice outside, I make us go outside, go on your little porch and just stay in your area. That way you're getting that fresh air and just getting a little different atmosphere than just being cooped up in the house. Students as well, they'll either DM our Twitter page, our Facebook page, or our Instagram page asking for either sessions or workouts. So what I do is I just post home workouts on our Facebook page and our Instagram page. And then also for those students who want personal training sessions, I don't charge them or anything of that nature. I just train them virtually as well.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else offering services remotely? What about refunds? Have anybody had to give out refunds as far as memberships, services that we offer, any refund talks?
We didn't do refunds for memberships just yet. This is Nicole at North Carolina Central. Sorry for cutting you off, Iisha.
That's okay.
What we did is we suspended any payroll deductions. So I don't necessarily consider that a refund per se, but we suspended the payroll deductions. And depending on when when the restrictions have loosened up, we'll extend people's membership. So if we've been closed for 2 months and you outright paid for a full year, we'll just tack on your expiration date is 2 months later. So we're not giving, hopefully we won't have to process refunds that way. Our goal was not to have to process refunds, as that takes time, money, and energy. So that's kind of what we chose right now. And I think the only refunds we had to do was for some of our outdoor adventures trips that weren't going to occur. And we had only at the time had 2 people paid. So we've been very lucky from that aspect. So that's kind of what we've chose to do right now. And just crossing fingers that will open soon, or all of this will be taken care of soon, hopefully.
Yeah, at Prairie View, we have that couple that pay annually, who are there when we open the door in the morning, who are there every holiday weekend. And Ashley, you know who they are. Dr. Toth and his lovely bride, Miss Julie, and Mom. They're awesome people, and they have an expectation that they pay. They want to come use it. Thank goodness, because Dr. Toth's medical background, he understands. So what we've done very similar is we've quote unquote frozen their membership, and they will receive a credit on next fiscal year, because I'm trying not to have to do that process of, it's like pulling teeth when you're waiting to give a refund on our campus. Even though there's a very valid reason, everyone would understand why, it's still a process. So we literally had 3 people, a husband, wife, and then the mother of the wife, who inquired about it, but were very receptive to receiving a credit whenever we are able to open up and resume services.
Yeah, same thing with us. We're basically just taking it case by case. If anybody requests a refund, we'll look into that, but we're just planning on just extending the membership or whatever the service is, or go remotely if we're able to do so. Julie, 50% of semester if requested for the refunds or extension, depending on when we reopen safely. Same here. Okay. Speaking of fees, Has anybody had talks on their campus in regards to the student fees? Are you refunding your student fees? What does the summer student fees? Have talks been discussed about not charging for summer student fees? Any kind of discussions on that?
So at North Carolina Central, we have been discussing fees, and like everybody, probably like the majority, we have refunded 40% of housing fees and dining fees. Now, as far as the student fee, they have not refunded that yet, but they will, since we're going to be online in the summer. They are not collecting a student fee, yet we're still being expected to offer services and been asked to cut our fiscal budget 2021 year by 40% to help recoup that cost. So those are the discussions that are on the table right now. But they are not expecting to collect fees in the summer, but we're expected to provide services.
Yeah, like Nicole just stated, at Prairie View, we're a dedicated fee. We're viewed as an auxiliary underneath the auspices umbrella of student affairs. That's our lifeline, our budget. No registration, no budget. It's that simple. Probably our facility rental from campus, meaning departments, is probably 10% of our budget. We don't charge students, registered student organizations, to use our facilities if it's within the normal hours of operation. They don't have any additional setup. I teach a class at Prairie View, and our president was on the faculty senate meeting last Thursday, and she suggested that the online format could be, might well be the mode of instruction in the fall. And I couldn't help but think, I didn't think it was appropriate to ask in that forum, what about auxiliaries? But I'll have that conversation this week with my associate vice president, who's my supervisor. Without that fee, I don't see us justifying, or we don't have the budget to pay staff, professional staff, utilities, what have you. So I'm hoping that that'll be part of the discussion this week. So in response to the question, we almost have to receive that fee, or unless there's an emergency contingency fund somewhere on campus for like measures. But I'm not aware of it this second.
Yeah. Same here. Okay, anyone else want to chime in as far as programming? How about participants, real quick? What are your feedback on the student or your member participation with your program? Are you seeing an increase, or how does that look?
Our doors are closed at Prairie View, but I can tell you right now, if they were open, it would be packed. They would come. It's scary. I have a sophomore at Prairie View. I mean, he and his buddies, they social distancing. They don't see it. I'm not sure. I don't know how else to communicate it. You look at the world news, you look at what's happening in Italy, you look and see what's happening in Florida, you look at, I mean, it's real, but yet and still, there's a certain population that doesn't seem to think that it will affect them. So my son knows, my wife's a microbiologist, so he gets it firsthand, but still he wants to go hang out with his buddies. So we're closed. So that takes the option off the table, which helps us. But when I go to campus at least once a week, I still see that students that are there living in the off-campus apartments, they're walking side by side there. My assumption is they're hanging out. They do what some students do when you're in a quarantine at campus. So for us, the option is not on the table because the doors are closed. And even when we were on campus, we were deemed open, but not the facility for services. So I don't have an answer to that, but I'm afraid that if we did open it, they would come.
Well, more so the virtual programs that you're offering, how are you seeing participants? Are they participating? Are your students participating?
Specifically to that response, I said Prairie View, I'm not seeing just a really large population of students. Ms. Coleman, our fitness coordinator, may have more information, but generally speaking, not so much virtually online. But I have a lot of new ideas just from today. The personal workouts, the esports, online card games. These are some things I just hadn't thought of because we've been really trying to put an emphasis on the student staff, making sure they get paid first. but now we'll be shifting more so towards participants and better offerings. Yeah.
So, Kathleen Langley, Lincoln University of Missouri. The participants course is not as high as it is when we are actually physically on campus. Students are they're gonna scroll past a workout video. They're gonna scroll past us talking about nutrition, because in reality, it doesn't matter to them. But when you switch it up, that's when you really catch their attention. So what my department has done, my director and assistant director, is when the corona had just really started to take over, we did a TikTok of us cleaning the weight room, of us bleaching the weight room and things like that. And they just totally chimed in. And from there, you know, participation was kind of high when we were doing the videos and things like that. And of course it died down. So my advice is, like, switch it up, do something different, because that's what's going to catch the students' attention. It's easier for me to say because I just was a student a year ago, just graduating. So I kind of know what's in their mindset. But when you switch it up and just do something different and kind of out of the norm and out of your character per se, they, for some reason, they get engaged and they're like, OMG, this is so cool. So I will honestly tell all you guys to utilize TikTok. If you don't know what TikTok is, somebody on your staff knows how to use it. It is a blast using it, and the students they just love it. You can do just about anything on there. I mean, my director is a big, bulky, Hulk-looking guy, and then the assistant director, he's a runner, and then you have me. So just the different personalities. But for participation, you have to switch it up. Even though we do have a routine, maybe Mondays and Wednesdays you do this, and Tuesdays and Thursdays you do that. Just even switching that up is going to help with the participation of your virtual programs.
Okay, so real quick before we have to end, we're going to move on to pretty much the Did You Know segment. And feel free to start the conversations in the chat for different topics, just to share ideas. But just to move on, just want to share pretty much NIRSA HBCU Committee, because our whole purpose of this is to keep you guys involved and also keep HBCUs aware of the benefits that we all have here at NIRSA, and to just keep everybody active. So the idea of developing the NIRSA HBCU Committee was established in 2018. It started off as a 3-year task force and now has moved to a concrete committee. We're pretty much charged with just organizing and implementing the HBCU Summit, which was hosted this year at Delaware State during ERSL as a pre-conference. We also hosted the year before at the national conference. So it's just another outlet for HBCUs to connect and learn about the history of NIRSA. Another task or charge that we have is to reach out to as many HBCUs as possible and encourage you guys to continue to stay active in NIRSA, as well as fill out that institutional data set. The IDS, if you're not aware of that benchmark, is pretty much a platform where you can go in and fill out details on your area. So everybody can kind of get an understanding of what you're doing at your institution in regards to how's your facility. Is it standalone or is it shared? What programs are you offering? What is it? Do you have program, fitness, wellness, outdoor recreation? Just a pretty much benchmark overview of what your school is doing in as far as campus recreation. And you can also share with other institutions to compare and contrast and build upon what you're doing normally. We also, just to keep in contact with our HBCU members, is create a newsletter, as well as we have established a social media outlet. We are definitely encouraging you guys to share us, follow us on Instagram, NIRSA HBCU, And we're just encouraging you guys to continue to follow us so we can keep afloat with what everybody is doing. Some of these programs that you're offering, we can partner with, or we can all play cards together, you know, things like that. So the NIRSA HBCU Instagram outlet or piece will allow us to know what everybody is doing and stay connected. Any of my HBCU committee want to chime in on what's been discussed?
I'll say, Iisha, you've been really nice and kind and gentle with that invite, the opportunity to share membership. And what we really need, we're looking for individuals who may not have shared in a formal capacity to take on one of the leadership roles. For me, the did you know is that there's so many things I didn't know about the National Association until I began to serve and volunteer on the national committee. It really connects you with folks. There's information out there on travel grants. There's information for some registration support at the Emerging Rec Sports Leaders Conference. There's information on internships and graduate assistantships, and sometimes even some scoop on upcoming professional positions. So really getting involved to volunteer to assist the association can be very rewarding to an individual as well. So just know that when you see the information out there, to consider being nominated or serving in the capacity, we'd ask that you continue to do that. One of the best things for me was I always had a mentor, someone who served in the position or the post prior to me was always making themselves available for any clarifications that I may have. So we just really wanted to also extend that opportunity for individuals who may not have served formally before. This could be a great opportunity to start and give back to the association and our HBCU community.
Anyone else? Also, I added on the page just some of the founding institutions. You know, these are the 11 schools that played a part in what is NIRSA today. So we just want to continue that history and share with everybody that HBCUs, it's a big deal, okay? So we want you guys to continue to stay active within NIRSA and build upon that history and grow upon it as well. And also, as mentioned, the institutional data set, that is a really big piece for us that helps us benchmark, like I said, what every institution is doing and making sure we are on the same page or can get to that same page of what's Department of Campus Recreation on your specific institution.
Thank you, Iisha, for organizing this. I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. Really enjoyed it.
So Iisha, would this be every other week, once a month? Have we got to that point yet of trying to schedule something?
We can talk about it.
Because I really think that as we get more information from the medical community, that we're going to evolve and grow in whatever direction we go in. I think we're going to keep evolving. I think I would appreciate hearing what everyone is doing, and of course, don't mind sharing the few ideas that we may come up with. So maybe we can talk offline and see if we can possibly schedule something, you know, once a month to start with, or once every 3 weeks. Maybe just.
Yeah, definitely during this time is definitely a fluid topic because things change. When we hang up, things might change, you know. So we definitely can discuss a time frame of just meeting back up and sharing.
I think as we move toward the summer, Vanessa Hood from WSSU, there will probably be lots of thoughts and lots of conversation to find out what everyone's doing, and especially as we approach ramdition or orientation on most campuses. One of the things is being discussed on our campus right now what will orientation look like?
Exactly.
You know, is it going to be virtual? So I attended a meeting, I guess about a week or so ago. Both discussions were being taking place, the on campus and of course the virtual. So I agree that we could meet probably at least once a month as well.
And that hiring piece, what does that look like?
Right.
So yeah, definitely, let's do it. But thank you guys.
All right. Thanks everyone, and go Panthers.
No, go Tigers.
Go Rams.
And there we go.
All right. All right. Who you rooting for?
TSU.
All right.
WSU.
All right.
TSU.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good day, guys. Stay safe.
See y'all. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.